Hey, third graders, Miss Whitford here, and I'm just going over what you are going to be doing for your hands-on portion of workshop this week. So you are going to get to be a little bit more creative in creating either a pictograph or a bar graph. So I have an example here that I made, and I'll kind of go through it. So when you do this, you can use some of the data that you collected from when you polled the class about your question of choice, or if you want to use your data from your M&Ms graph, or if you want to use some different data, like if you want to create, if you want to have another question and poll the class, you can absolutely do that too. So here are the things that you need to have when you create your graph. So if you're doing a pictograph, okay, so there's some things that you need for your pictograph. You need a title for your pictograph, and the title is going to be probably whatever your poll question is. So it could be, so for this one, remember we did in class, what's your favorite scent? Like which spray did you like the best? So that's what this one is. That's the title for this one. And then across on the side is where you're going to have the different answers. So for this one, we had grounding, rest, enchanted forest, and recharge. And you also need a key. So make sure that you are showing what two votes equals, and then what one vote equals. So for two, it might be a whole thing, and for one, it might be just a half of a thing. You can use stickers. I will give you stickers to use if you want to use that to create your pictograph, or if you want to draw and make some designs of your own for when you do that, that's absolutely fine. So, and get creative when you do it. Like, yeah, it should look nice. So this would be an example of your pictograph. If you would choose to do a bar graph instead, you can do that. I will give you some graph paper, but remember what you need for your bar graph. So along the side, that's where you're going to put your numbers, and that's going to be for the number of votes. You can do it in increments of 2 if you want to do it in increments of 5. But remember, if you have a vote that's going to be like, let's say you have 7 votes, and if you do this with, let's see, oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's do, okay. So if you're doing this, sorry, it's loading up. Still loading. And here we are. Still loading. Almost there. Yay, we made it. Okay, so if you're doing this, let's say in increments of 5, like let's say this is 5, this is 10, and 15, for example. Like if you have a vote of 7, then you would need to make sure that it's going to go like between the 5 and the 10. It might be a little bit easier to do in increments of 2, but that's totally your call. If you want to do in increments of 1, you could do that as well. So that's the numbers that are going to be on the side. I would suggest probably increments of 2 would be easiest, like 2, 4, 6, but really your choice. And then across the bottom are going to be your different options of things that people voted for. So if we were doing this one, you would have the sense, grounding, rest, etc., etc. And then you would take your votes and you would make your bar graph match what your votes are. So your final bar graph would have the bars to show what each vote is. So for this, you can also make it creative. I'll give you graph paper to use, but you can glue it onto some construction paper, use color, make it appealing, make it something that people want to look at. And yeah, that's it. Be creative, have fun, and I can't wait to see what you come up with.